Hey, we want to say thank you to our sponsors, Watchman Cigars, 1812 Barbecue, Webmerized website design, and Bad Mother Smokers Barbecue. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast, where it's two guys take on life, liberty, and the pursuit of gravy, and you, the listener, are getting a degree in common sense. We are broadcasting here from the Hunter House and Garden in Huntersville, North Carolina. We are excited to be here. We've got a great show lined up for you, as always. But before we begin, let me go ahead and introduce the team. We do have running up on the field Brian, our producer.
Guys.
And, of course, the pride of Anderson, South Carolina, but most of you probably know him best as the Silver Tongue won 2016's honorable mention charcuterie plate maker of the year.
You said it right.
The inventor of the redneck egg roll. Give it up on old Mike number one. It's Mojo!
I'm pretty sure that Anderson, South Carolina may be taking my my resident card back since I don't visit anymore. So... Hey, appreciate everyone tuning in once again. You can find us on the Facebooks at Southern Fried Philosophy, our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com. You can also find us on pretty much anywhere you get your podcast from. iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Spotify, or one of our new favorites, Podcoin. Wherever you listen, just go there, subscribe, download, give a like, a heart, thumbs up. Most importantly, if you can, give us a review. Maybe a 5-star rating, especially on the iTunes, because I guess Steve Jobs' ghost still likes that as far as rating us up there in the podcast. Appreciate you always tuning in. We got several new listeners, as always. And, we just appreciate everyone who takes the time, has us on that spin list of their podcast. I know I've subscribed to about 20, so it's kind of hard to get them all. But, we appreciate the ones who listen in every week.
Yeah. I want to say shouts out to our new listeners from Minneapolis, Minnesota, Miami, Florida, and Macon, Georgia. This episode brought to you by the letter M.
There's a lot of M's there.
There are.
Minnesota, I guess, is probably about, 2 weeks away from being pure cold and snow, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I don't envy it. I don't envy it.
Yeah.
Mojo, I'm going to ask you like I ask you every week. How you be darn?
Great, man. Like I mentioned last week with the Amandola's episode, we got some exciting news coming up. I think it's getting a little closer, so... we'll have to let the suspense build for another week.
Yep.
But I think the next show we'll be able to release some new information on what we got going on in our personal lives and just some big steps in the season of our lives. So just inching forward to that. So right now we have that kind of cool and calm before the storm happens. So I think that it's going to be a good information.
Awesome. So I love those things that are awesome or weird. I don't know if you guys ever play this game at your house. Or like you hear a story and you're like, is this awesome or weird? So, for example, there was a story this past week in Kentucky where a guy stole 10 shopping carts from Walmart. He got picked up because the last one he was stealing, he was intoxicated on the motorized cart. So is that awesome or is that weird that he stole 10 shopping carts?
I think it's a little of both, probably.
A little awesome.
I mean, what was he using the carts for?
We don't know.
Or was it just joyride?
We don't know what he was doing.
Was it like the thing that pushes the carts?
No, it was the actual motorized cart.
Yeah, that's the one
he stole 10 of them, 9 other regular carts, and then the last one was the motorized cart.
I think it's weird.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do with him? Unless he has a small Mexican super America, the grocery store, like
right. He's changing the colors of the handle and doing that. So I've been married to my wife 15 years, and I never knew what she does when she eats cereal. I don't even know anybody that does this, but she'll fill the bowl up with just milk, and she'll put the cereal to the side, and then she'll just put in a little bit of cereal and then eat it.
That's weird.
Isn't that weird?
That's not awesome. That's weird.
So is it the whole box of cereal next to it? Is it like a pre-measured?
She put it in a cup, and then just poured a little bit in there. Her excuse was she didn't want it to be soggy. She didn't want the cereal to be soggy, so she'll pour in like half, eat it, and then
that's
pour
not
in the
the
other
same
half.
people that do dressing on the side and then dip their salad into the dressing. I don't trust those people.
Yeah. Well, when I was on Weight Watchers in 2001, they told you for that it was just portion control of the salad dressing. So I'm not so upset about those people, but putting half of your cereal in and then eating the other half.
Here's what you need to do: is put your cereal in a martini shaker and pour the milk in and shake it real good, and then pour the milk out. And then the cereal's just wet enough to eat. And you're not wasting. Yeah. And then you give the cereal milk to you, maybe.
Yeah.
You get to drink the cereal milk.
I love the cereal milk.
That's the best part, right?
Yeah. I just thought that was weird. Out of 15 years of marriage, I never knew she did that. That's so weird. To me, it's weird.
Either A, she's eating a cereal eating on a different level, like an expert level.
Right.
Or it's way overthinking it. But there's some cereals out there you need that full 30 minutes of exposure to milk to even get it down.
No, and I give you that, but this is like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay.
It's a Cinnamon Toast knockoff, that quote-unquote healthy version of it for the kid. But I still thought it was just weird. She didn't want it to be too soggy. I can't.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know if I trust her now.
Well, we're going to go into some wacky news brought to you by 1812 Barbecue. If you want some fantastic barbecue catered for your next meal, check out our friends at 1812 Barbecue. Check out the sponsor section of our website for more details. All right, so this is a weird one. Costco is now selling magnificent 72-pound cheese wheel for $900 at Costco. At Costco, you can pick up the 72-pound wheel of Parmesan Reggiano. How do you say that?
Reggiano.
All right, I was close. For $900. It's aged 24 months, imported from Italy, and it is, when they do the cost comparison, it's $12.50 a pound. Would you go to Costco and buy 72 pounds of cheese for $900?
No. That's actually not a bad price.
Is it not bad? Okay.
Bad.
All right.
I think in the restaurant world, I think it was about $17 a pound for Parmesan Reggiano aged.
Okay.
It's not a bad price break, but man, you got to have somewhere to store that.
Sure. People that have bought it have said, I got this as a gift. What the heck am I supposed to do with all this cheese? I got this for a wedding present. I've been using it to make a lot of Alfredo sauce with great success.
Well, a lot of people are actually taking these huge cheese wheels now. I don't know if you've seen this as kind of a new craze in some of the Italian restaurants.
Okay.
They actually will split the wheel in half,
okay.
Where you still have basically two circles. And then
make a table from
they'll actually carve it out.
Okay.
Carve a section of it out. And what they do is they do table side pasta tossing. So they actually take the cheese wheel, they dump, whatever pasta sauce inside the cheese wheel, mix it up inside the cheese, and then
how about you?
I don't know how sanitary.
Then you toss the cheese wheel in the dishwasher when you're done. So,
I don't know how they do this, but it's a big thing now. It's like tableside guacamole or something like that.
I could get behind this if it was a different type of cheese. Like that's a very specific, there's not a lot of applications for that cheese.
No, Parmesan Reggiano is very salty, very aged. It's
a top. It's like here's a little on top of my salad or something.
Well, you can do,
You're not going to cut a chunk out like a cheddar wheel or something.
Dude, I put it on pizza, spaghetti sauce, anything.
No, it's limited.
Put it on anything.
But you couldn't be like, hey, I'm going to make a cheeseburger with Parmesan Reggiano on it.
Watch me.
Have a cheese stick that's Parmesan Reggiano. I mean, that's
watch me. I'll do that all day, every day.
It's like licking a salt lick during hunting season. Yeah.
But like on the keto diet, you can get the Parmesan and just like lay it flat and bake it, and it'd be like a little crisp.
Yeah.
You do that.
Yeah.
I like those things.
Chips,
the 1812 barbecue story started over 20 years ago when Eric and his dad started entering local barbecue competitions for fun. During that time, Eric, a United States Marine, has traveled all over the world picking up flavors and techniques that today is the unique flavor of the award-winning 1812 barbecue. He has honed his craft to bring you the fall-off-the-bone pulled pork, the mouth-watering ribs, and finely crafted beef brisket. Eric has developed his own amazing dry rub and delicious barbecue sauce. And let's not forget those sides, with the coleslaw, smoked Gouda mac and cheese, cowboy baked beans, and to top it all off, banana pudding and pecan pie for dessert. Getting hungry yet? Good. Call or email Eric at 1812 Barbecue, and he can make your next catered meal happen. Weddings, graduation parties, family reunions, and other events will be memorable with 1812 Barbecue. Want to try your hand at smoking meats? Pick up your own 1812 dry rub and start the journey for yourself. Shipping all over the world. Connect with Eric on his Facebook page, Instagram at 1812 Barbecue, or call 704-604-5148. That's 704-604-5148. And email Eric at eric.line@1812bbq.com, and he will be glad to help. All right, so the next one is a house supposedly haunted by a tall man in a suit and top hat terrifies Airbnb rentals. A couple from Missouri claim that they bought a house, tried to fix it up, and it turns out while they were living there, they found out that the house was haunted. They smelled odors of sulfur, which was quote unquote the demon smell. There was multiple times where they saw dark figures going up and down a staircase, and they left just a few months after renovating this old house in Missouri. Now what they've decided is they are going to rent it out as an Airbnb to anybody that wants to try to see if they can spend the night in it. So far, they have yet to have one person to make it all the way through the evening.
So where's this at?
In Missouri. I could look it up at some point, but it says in Missouri.
Well, I think we need to schedule an Emo's trip that we were talking about last show, Emo's pizza trip, and then we'll just go actually stay in this Airbnb at the same time.
Would you ever stay on a haunted Airbnb?
Yeah, I'm game.
You would do it just for fun, just for kicks?
I don't know. I'd say I don't believe in this crap, but I'm probably too scared.
Yeah, it was. They lived in the house for 7 months, and then they decided to leave. The thing that they said that got them was they went upstairs to check on their daughter, and she turned around and she was crying. And they said, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And she turned around and quote she went from crying to the Cheshire cat big smile, kind of like the Joker look on her face, and then like woke up and didn't know what was happening. Now that would freak me out. Would that not freak you out?
Yeah, that would.
That freaks me out.
We gotta find this house.
All right.
We may honestly have to do a road trip.
Yeah, it was featured on the Dead Files, a paranormal activity show. Man, could you imagine? We might have to do that. Let's do it. Let's get on the road. All right, so let's go to our hot topics.
Producer Brian is no longer available for that.
Yeah. Sorry, I got something to do that day.
Let's go to Hot Topics, brought to you by Watchman Cigars. Leon, do you want to tell us a little bit about what's going on with Watchman Cigars?
Hey, guys, how's it going?
Good. What's going on? We're here in the Hunter House and Garden with Leon with Watchman Cigars. What's going on in the world of Watchman?
Well, we're here at one of my business partners. They carry my cigars here at Hunter House and Garden. Just recently, we released our new cigar that we worked on for about a year.
Oh, a year for this one?
Yeah, that's that coffee cigar that we chased going down to Miami. Thought we wanted to do a Cuban coffee blend. Just couldn't get it to work. Finally came back out. Actually, man, you sparked some interest in me.
I did it.
Yes, you brought those items back from me from Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
And something hit me to the very first guy I went to up in Moles. I'll go and give him a shout out. Black Powder Coffee.
Okay.
It is a manufacturing facility here in North Carolina.
Okay.
I met with them maybe February of last year. Went back, told them what I wanted. I wanted to be able to come out with something sweet and have a powerful cigar.
Mm-hmm.
So we took our Habano cigar, which is Nicaraguan fill and binder, with an Ecuador Sumatra wrapper, and came back in with a coffee, cinnamon, rum, pecan coffee blend. It smells and actually tastes just like pecan pie.
Right here in the Hunter House, you can get that cigar.
You can't get that one in the Hunter House right now. That's only through me at WatchmanCigars.com.
Okay.
The Hunter House is carrying my Connecticut, Maduro, and Habano.
Okay.
We did a soft release, man. I put in about 2 weeks. I probably sold 400 for that cigar.
How about you?
It's phenomenal, man.
Yeah.
Well, you guys seen my posts.
Yeah.
Y'all seen so many people, they just smell it, then they'll come back and taste it.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan had one. Your next door neighbor.
Yeah, a resident plumber, Kurt.
Yes.
Yeah, he got to enjoy it.
As soon as I walked in, he said, "Hey, man, I got to have one of your cigars last week." I'm like, "Cigar?" I was like, "Brandon, he shared it with you." We did an event last Sunday with some Deltas. Shout out to the Deltas of Charlotte. We're doing a contribution to the, I know it is the North Carolina Central University alumni, so we're doing a donation for them.
Okay.
But those ladies came in, and they just love that cigar. A guy called me today. Now, you know when you got a good cigar, when somebody comes to your event, they buy one just to support you.
Right, yeah.
When they come back and they buy 3 more, the guy calls me today. He said, hey, you may not remember. I said, yeah, I remember you, man. You sat over in the corner. I knew the shirt you had on. He says, man, how can I invest in your brand?
Oh.
Like, wow, dude, that's big. You're the second person that's really asked me about investing in my cigars. I said, but that told me you really liked it. He said, man, look, I know your cigars are sitting over at the jailhouse in Belmont. Let's meet over there. I want to buy some of your cigars. I said, well, I got an event coming up there, man. Let's do it. So that's what we're doing. And this month, October, is a huge month for us for doing events. Want to try and get with you guys at what's the new distillery? I mean, the wine. No, the
Southern Grace.
Southern Strain.
Southern Strain Brewery. But I'm going to be at West Bend Wineries.
Well, no good.
You know, it's all good. But no, that's the latest thing we have going on. Just continue to grow the brand and educate everybody. You know, you mentioned Amendola. I've heard of Amendola for about 2 years. I actually met him in Burners. Sat down and talked to him about some events. You know, I like his story. The one thing that impressed me, I know he shared it on your podcast, because I listened to it.
Yeah, sure. I appreciate it.
Anybody can hustle cigars out of a police car. Hey, mad props to me, man. Sure. When he told me that story, I was like, wow. Nice. But he keeps it real.
Yeah. I usually hustle and end up in a police car.
Yeah, that's what happens there.
And you know, we've had some cross action with the same clients. There one guy, he called me a couple. I said, look, man, if you're going to do a solo blend with Amendolas, I said, man, I don't want to interfere with that, because that ain't what I do. I respect everybody. I said, but you know, if you want to cross blend both of them, I say no problem, I'm in.
Yeah.
But one thing, everybody has a different palate.
Yep, it's true.
You have to find what you like and support it.
Well, Leon, we're still waiting for the banana pudding, but that'll probably come out sometime soon.
It will. I got
Apparently
you guys
it takes
covered.
a year to figure that out.
Right, clearly.
To make it right.
All right, so we are going to go to our bracket. So this is something that we've done every once in a while. We'll do a bracket. This year we have decided we're going to do restaurants. So we are going to go down. We're going to go to the Sweet 16 for the East and the South bracket and see who's going to be the best restaurant for the show in 2016. So you guys ready? Play along, and we will put this up on our show notes as well, so you can play along as well. All right, so East Division, McDonald's or Golden Corral?
Ew. It's like deciding if I want to be hit by a bus or
a train.
Or a train.
Yeah. Those are probably they're the most disgusting, I think, out of all.
This is the 1 and 16. We should probably mention.
I'm going to go with McCrapples.
Okay, you're gonna pick McCrapples.
This is actually a really hard decision for me, because Chocolate Fountain, Golden Corral.
Is that a positive or a negative?
I don't know.
Okay, hold up.
Personal hygiene aside.
Sure. Okay. All right.
Okay, so let me say that first. You can get whatever you want at Golden Corral. I mean, you walk to Golden Corral, you can get anything.
You can.
Golden Corral. You can feed everybody. That's not a keto, probably, but they have meat. They have like prime rib station. I like McDonald's breakfast too much to give it up. You know, if I can, you know, this is like a desert island. There's one restaurant on the place.
Yeah, I can't do Golden Corral because I imagine that worst case scenario with that guy who has the leprosy and herpes at the same time coming and putting his finger in the chocolate fountain.
Sure. That's the 10-year-old with the cold walks over and sneezes in the mac and cheese. You never know.
Actually, I did see a kid double dip his ice cream cone in the chocolate fountain.
Of course he did. So. All right, so make it easy for the win. All right, Moe's versus Hardee's. I'll go with your logic on the breakfast. Hardee's breakfast, I think, is semi-solid.
Oh, Hardee's makes a great biscuit.
They make a great biscuit, yeah. So my vote will be Hardee's.
That one's a toss-up because not that I like burritos a lot, but I'm going to have to go Hardee's. Just Moe's does have customer service, you know.
I like burritos a lot.
Yeah.
Hardee's, you know, after 1992, I kind of lost interest. You know, the fried chicken went away. You know,
that is.
They had good fried chicken. I don't know what they were doing there, but
they got fried chicken tenders now. So.
I got Moe's. I'd eat. I ate a lot of Moe's.
Leon,
I'm going Moe's.
Ooh. Moe's took down Hardee's.
All right,
Didn't
guys.
see that happen.
Peanut Gallery. We got 2 and 2, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Moe's or Hardee's? Hardee's.
Oh! What? From the come behind.
Man, that upset.
Hardee's.
I didn't see that coming.
All right, so we've got Fazoli's versus Dunkin' Donuts. To me, there's no question on this one, but y'all's thoughts. Fazoli's.
What's Fazoli's?
I have no idea.
Fazoli's
It's Italian fast food chain.
Italian fast food.
That can't be good.
They opened up a boatload and then they closed a bunch.
And they had the best breadsticks.
Yeah.
And it was unlimited breadsticks. The garlic, garlic parm.
I'm just Dunkin' in that category.
Right.
I can't even
but
comprehend.
Dunkin's not bringing anything to the show. They're just bringing donuts.
So you guys are voting for a restaurant that's closed?
No, they're still open.
Oh,
There's just not a lot of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're primarily in Florida.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Dunkin' anyway. Just
All right.
If I want to eat
Their donuts are horrible.
Their donuts aren't good. Their coffee's not good.
Yeah.
Their food's not good.
All right.
Stores aren't good. But what's left? Parking lot's bad. I don't know.
All right, so by default, we're going to Fazoli's. The next one, Popeyes versus Wing Zone.
Popeyes.
Have you had the sandwich?
No, but I've had the shrimp po' boy. That's all I need to know.
I like the shrimp po' boy. I like their shrimp. The shrimp is decent. I liked it. And they used to have a fish and shrimp combo. I think they got rid of that. But I like that. So I'm going to go Popeyes on that.
The Wing Zone's the Pizza Hut Wing Zone, right?
Right.
Man,
I'll have to go Popeyes. You, Leon?
I'm going Wing Zone.
Oh.
Really?
I've seen too many Popeyes on Instagram. I'm tired of Popeyes. That must be an awesome chicken sandwich.
Skyline Chili versus Cheddar's. I love me some Cheddar's. But Resident Plumber Kurt, he's going to go Skyline Chili. I don't. It's too runny. It's too bleh.
Good.
well, you go ahead.
I like Skyline.
Okay.
I've never had authentic Skyline chili.
You've had it at
I have not.
the airport?
I've had the church chili cook-off Skyline chili.
Okay.
Which is terrible.
Yeah.
It's not chili. It's sweet spaghetti.
Okay.
So Cheddar's, I like Cheddar's. You would get their chicken tenders, and
Yes.
there's like 18 pounds of chicken tenders for like $6
And how about that honey croissant, that honey butter croissant?
all day.
Leon,
Going Cheddar's.
3 Cheddars. Going to you, Hussein. Hussein, are you going for Cheddar's or Skyline Chili? Cheddar's. All right, Cheddar's for the win. All right, Cracker Barrel versus Jason's Deli.
Ooh.
I like Jason's.
Jason's clean.
Mm-hmm.
They've got like healthy options. Their salad bar.
I mean, Cracker Barrel, they usually refuse service to me because I'm not old enough to go in there.
But I do like their Fish Friday. I will be all up about their Fish Friday. I enjoy that a lot.
Look,
guys.
I don't like going in there because you go in there for like an old timer's breakfast platter, and you walk out with like a rocking chair and 3 candy bars
from 19.
Grandpa's country breakfast all
Yes.
day. That's that. The biscuits. You get the maple syrup bottles, your pancakes. You go on Thanksgiving. It's the best Thanksgiving dinner you ever ate.
Oh, I bet.
For real.
I bet. Their hash brown casserole is yet to be beat. Leon,
Cracker Barrel all the way.
Cracker Barrel. You're going Cracker Barrel.
I'm going not Cracker Barrel.
You're going Jason's Deli. Cracker Barrel. CB it is for the win. Ooh, all right. All right, Papa John's versus Rally's. Rally's hamburgers.
Rallies. I can't stand. I can't stand Papa John's.
We've got some clear hatred towards Rally's. So Rally's is no for you. So Papa John's, but you hate Papa John's. Yeah. So you guys cancel each other out.
Well, after they got rid of Papa.
Just for a PR move, I should probably just say Rally's. You guys?
I've never been to Rally's.
Never been
to
Rally's is very similar to Checkers.
Where?
Have you been to a Checkers before? So just a drive-through service burger
then
joint.
I'm not going that direction.
All right.
You know what? All I got to say is you guys have got to lower your standards a little bit.
Leon, where are you going?
I like Rally's, man.
Rally's. Oh, but man, I like the Papa John's pizza.
Garlic butter.
Papa John's. Papa John's.
Peppers.
You hate it. All right. So Papa John's for the win. All right. Guys, Waffle House or Noodles and Company?
Waffle.
You can't. Yeah. Waffle House is it.
Because not only can you eat it, get a solid meal 24/7, 365, you will find out if the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse have shown up in your city.
Yeah.
Because either Waffle House will be open or they will shut down.
Sure. 100%. All right, guys, we've got a good one. McDonald's or Hardee's? McDonald's or Hardee's? Hardee's.
Their breakfast is,
I think,
if you just judge them solely on breakfast.
Hardee's has already won.
I'm disagreeing, not that it matters.
Because not only will you actually get your breakfast from Hardee's, McDonald's will throw it out the window at you.
I'm a good catch.
I'm a good catch. All right, Fazoli's versus Popeyes?
Popeyes, I guess.
Popeyes?
Popeyes for me.
All right, we'll go Popeyes. Cheddar's versus Cracker Barrel?
Cracker Barrel.
Crapper Barrel.
Cracker Barrel? Cracker Barrel? Cracker Barrel?
Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel. Wow. All right, Cracker Barrel for the win on that one. Papa John's or Waffle House?
Oh, come on.
That's not, to me, that's not a waffle. Everybody is, assuming.
If you judge this surely, not on the food, but just the entertainment value alone,
yeah.
Waffle House, hands down.
Yeah. All right, so that's, we've got going to the Sweet 16. No, I've had Christmas dinner at a Waffle House. Yeah. Anybody else?
Yep.
No.
So we finish in just the East bracket this time?
Well, we've done the East. Let's go to the South real quick. All right. Here's out of the South. Raisin Cane's or Ruby Tuesdays?
Ooh, Raisin Cane's.
Raisin Cane's.
Raisin Cane's. All right. I'll get that one. Panda Express or Gold Star Chili?
What's Gold Star? I've never done Gold Star.
I'm going to go Panda Express.
Panda Express, to me, by far. I love Panda Express.
Orange chicken.
I might even eat that tonight. All right, so we've got Bojangles and Pizza Hut.
Well, I'm going to go Bo Anglaise.
Yeah. Bo? Yeah. Everybody agree with Bo?
Easy.
Bo knows.
Easy.
Bo knows. Olive Garden or Quiznos?
I have to choose.
You got to go
English
OG.
Pasta.
I like the Olive
Can
Garden.
I get McDonald's back?
All right, we've got Olive Garden.
Actually, I would probably choose Golden Corral.
Burger King or Culver's?
Culver's. They got the butter burger.
Culver's.
Here's the problem here. You see Burger King is a 4.
Right.
Over Culver's, which is an 11. How does Burger King's
probably sheer location?
Is this by popularity or by number of stores?
By popularity.
Well, hold on. American Populace voted Taco Bell as America's #1 Mexican restaurant. So, this has got to be based off popularity.
Let me also throw this out there, though. Burger King breakfast, the croissant, which...
No.
Okay.
No. It's microwaved. It's literally microwaved.
I like it. I'm a fan of it. All right.
Microwave.
Red Lobster or McAllister's Deli?
McAllister's.
Really? Over Red Lobster?
I am not getting clubbed by some granny at Red Lobster again on a Sunday when I get there before her. And I get the last endless shrimp order
Everything
of the night.
tastes the same.
The Cheddar Bay biscuits, is that not enough to put it over the edge?
But I can't. But the Cheddar Bay biscuits aren't worth the mothball smell from the elderly crowd there. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, McAllister's for me.
Wow.
McAllister's.
Wow. All right. McAllister's Deli. Dairy Queen or Outback, Sonic or Dairy Queen? Sonic or Dairy Queen?
I do Dairy Queen.
Ooh, this could be a fight. What'd you say, Kurt? Dairy Queen?
Yeah.
Got to have that chili dog, man.
Listen, Sonic can do everything.
Oh, that's a good point.
That Dairy Queen can do.
Hold on.
That is a good point.
And more.
Dairy Queen has gravy.
That's also a good point. Sonic does not have gravy.
On the breakfast stuff, they don't have gravy?
They don't. Nope.
Dairy Queen has gravy that you can dip your chicken
tenders
into.
in it. Yep, that is true.
They actually have gravy where you can dip your snow cone chocolate dipped ice cream cone in it too. But I'm just...
Ooh, the gravy, I think, has now put it over the edge. So Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen.
All right, DQ. Wow, did not see that coming, but all right. All right, Outback or Jersey Mike's?
Hard for me. Both those places.
I go Outback.
You're a big fan of the Outback. Outback, everybody's down with it.
They're pretty solidly consistent.
All right. Raisin Cane's or Panda Express?
Raisin Cane.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. Ooh, I'm getting killed, but Raisin Cane's for the win on that. What do we got? We've got Bojangles versus Olive Garden.
Bojangles.
Bojangles is taking down Olive Garden.
You can only eat so much pasta.
I've eaten there 2 days in a row.
Culver's versus McAllister's Deli.
Culver's. I like a good burger.
Culver's. All right.
Plus, I got cheese curds.
Oh, I had to change the name for crying out loud. Dairy Queen versus Outback.
Ooh.
Outback.
Well, I'm going to choose Outback solely based on that you can buy alcohol there versus Dairy Queen.
Good call. Good call. All right. So we have got those set up for our Sweet 16. We're going to do the next episode. We're going to do the West and the Midwest division. And we'll have a good time with that. And we'll finish it up on further episodes of the Southern Pride Philosophy Podcast. All right. So we are again here at the Hunter House and Garden in Huntersville, North Carolina. And we wanted to bring in Ellen so we could get a little bit of understanding of what is going on here at the Hunter House in Huntersville, North Carolina.
Well, first of all, hello. Thank you for having me.
Sure.
My husband Frank and I bought this home probably a year and a half ago. It's our exit strategy. We make it. So, and we bought the home because I have an affinity for historic places. And when I married my husband, he said he would never live in a historic home. Mm-hmm. But here we are. We don't live here. Okay. But so we bought the house. It had been completely refurbished inside. It was built in 1913.
Okay.
And this home actually sits on what was originally a 3,200 acre piece of property, and it's down to the last 2.25 acres. So we are trying to preserve that. We planted over 145 trees last year to privatize the back acreage. And we're just building gardens and trying to evolve the property so that it one day can be, a place where flowering gardens are everywhere. That's going to take some time. However, the more interesting story is that William Ranson, the house used to be named the Ranson House, married Ellen Hunter.
Okay.
And at the time, we're told the town of Huntersville was considering naming the town Ransonville, but then love is in the air and something happened there, and so they chose Hunter. She was from a family, the Hunters had been around a lot longer than the Ransons. So Huntersville is named for her family, the Hunters. Okay. And so Ellen Hunter Ranson made this a place of a gathering place. She gathered everyone she could, including traveling football, basketball teams to be relevant. Yeah. To also just, people, New Year's Eve parties and the like. So we hope to do that. We hope to evolve this home and progress it to a place where it's a gathering place for all. Nice.
It's a beautiful home.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, I was in the same boat, similar to I would never live in an old house until I lived in an old house because my wife said, this is cute. And so we're going to buy this house and now live in an old house. So understand what goes on here on the property. What do you guys normally do? What are some events you guys?
So we are a special events facility, but we also open ourselves up to the public in the summer and other times of year. We'll reopen our bar and our beer and wine garden. But we do everything from bourbon tastings. We just had a bourbon tasting where we had Blanton's. To we have repasts, celebrations of life, weddings, and we'll have we have a Downton Abbey tea coming up.
Oh, wow.
Which we'll have high tea in Downton Abbey style celebration of the new movie. So we really try to just stay nimble and relevant to what's going on. And we throw our own events, but we also rent the home out to people who want to have their own events here as well. So
very cool. Awesome. What's been the coolest experience that you've had in this house so far?
Well, I mean, it's definitely haunted.
Oh, what?
Yeah, it's very.
Gotta go.
Can we spend the night in here tonight?
Yeah, it's really cool. We have a few people who've experienced a lot of different phenomenons, and Willie, the old groundskeeper. We have psychic readings here during the month of October.
Oh, wow.
And Willie likes to come through. We have those readings, and he actually loves what we've done with the place. Huh. So, but the most, I guess, fantastic thing that's happened is that I think Ellen herself came through.
Oh, wow.
Where she told the psychic reader that we had, thank you for not tearing down the flowering tree, the camellia tree, out on the left-hand side of the house, which that was the only tree. I told the landscapers to rip out everything.
Oh,
and I said,
wow.
don't tear out that tree. It's 40 or 50 years old. And sure enough, we didn't. And she came through and thanked us for it. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a winter blooming camellia tree, and we love it. And we love the fact that she's happy with what we've done. And
yeah,
so is Willie. So,
wow. It's a beautiful house. A huge front porch. It looks perfect for having a meal out there. Do you guys also do brunches?
We do have brunch,
okay.
Yes. We started brunch in January. Brunch is by reservation only. It's live jazz music.
Oh.
So it's really fun. Holly Hopkins, who's a well-known jazz musician in the area, is here. And we do a lot of farm-to-table, a lot of farmers market delights. But we have your traditional eggs, bacon, French toast, salmon.
Nice.
It's a fair, yeah.
I tell you, I've never seen, how do I say, because I always say charcuterie. Charcuterie. I've never seen one more as beautiful as the one you provided to us. I mean, that thing filled to the brim, and it's all gone.
Yeah.
I didn't even have any of it, but it was awesome.
Well, thank you.
That's what happens when you haven't ate all day and you come somewhere.
Right.
Don't let me near food.
Yeah. How can people get more information? How can people book, reserve the house?
Our website is HHG Events, Hunter House and Gardens Events, .com, and hello at HHG Events. Best way to reach us. There's a phone number on the website as well. But we get a lot of emails, and maybe 7 people are answering that email every day. So it's better than calling us. So.
Okay.
Well, in the month of October, you can rent out a bedroom for $3,000 a night to experience the hauntings. So.
Oh, yeah. We just did a story about a couple that was renovating a house, found out it was haunted, and now it's an Airbnb.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I have one question about that. Is groundskeeper Willie Scottish by any chance?
I don't know.
Okay. The Simpsons? Anybody?
Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
I was thinking Outlander, but I don't know.
My wife would probably think the same thing.
Well, Ellen, thank you so much for coming on the show. We will have all this information on our show notes, and we would really encourage you guys to come check this place out. I'm going to come here for a brunch because that sounds fantastic.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks for
thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to take a break, and when we come back, we will have our special guest, Matthew Doherty, the former small forward for University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, the former head coach, and now CBD salesman. He's going to tell us all about his story, all that and more on this episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody. I really do hope you love Southern Fried Philosophy. Did you know that you can actually get paid for listening to this podcast? I know it sounds insane, but it's true. We just discovered this free new app called Podcoin, and it literally pays you to listen to podcasts. Here's how it works. You listen to podcasts and you earn Podcoin while you listen. Then you turn that Podcoin into gift cards like places like Amazon or Starbucks. Or if you're a good person, you can even donate that Podcoin to charity. The more you listen, the more you earn. So here's what you do. Download the app right now on iPhone or Android, and I have a special code for you. Simply use our code Southern Fried, and you'll get 300 Podcoin just for signing up. And if you listen enough to us on there, you can get a cappuccino at Starbucks or an Amazon gift card on us. So go ahead and go listen to this podcast or virtually any podcast on Podcoin and sign up with code Southern Fried. It'll change the way you listen to podcasts. All right, we are back. You are listening to the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast. And with us, we have our special guest, Matthew Doherty, 1980 through 1984, small forward for University of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, Chapel Hill, right? You have got a national championship win under your belt, right? In the 83 team.
Yep.
Then you went on to coach Notre Dame, UNC, Florida, Kansas, SMU, and then
couldn't keep a job.
This sounds like my career.
Yeah.
And then you went to be a scout for the Indiana Pacers,
Right.
And the Atlantic 10 Associate Commissioner.
Yeah. Again, a lot. You know, it's funny. I just started listening to a book called Range, and it was recommended by, I believe, Howard Lee, who was a state senator, big fan of UNC basketball, and Dean Smith. And it talks about people that have a wide range of experiences and how that's a big advantage. Mm-hmm. So, when I go on my next job interview, I offer that book up as a gift to the person interviewing me to reinforce the fact that I have a robust resume, that I have a wide range of experiences, which ironically I do think helps. A lot of those weren't by choice. I didn't choose to leave North Carolina. I didn't choose to leave SMU, but the wide range of experiences, I like to think, there's a lot of transferable skills. I do a lot with leadership now. And I think that when you have an awareness of different roles people have, and sometimes the newness, how to manage them with emotional intelligence is critical.
Yeah. I mean, all of those things you can use every bit of that to transfer to wherever
radio,
you're at. Radio,
podcast,
because you did that.
That's right. Yeah.
No, I'm in the CBD business now, and you'd say, well, how does that transfer? Well, sales. Mm-hmm. First of all, sales. I mean, as a recruiter, college recruiter, there's no more intense market to sell in than Division I college sports. So, organizational skills that you had as a recruiter, as a college coach, planning, leading, dealing with failure. I think that's something that people don't talk a lot about. I've just came back from the John Maxwell Leadership convention down in Florida, and he has a book called Failing Forward. And I think there's a lot of truth in that, because one thing you do in sports, you fail a lot, and you fail in a public manner. Mm-hmm. So it's not embarrassing as, say, someone losing a job in the private sector. You do that all the time in coaching. So you learn from it. The thing in sports is when you have a loss, you own it, you watch the film, you figure out where do we make mistakes and how can we get better. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's something that's real valuable in embracing failure in a way as a way to, all right, this is a teaching moment. What did we learn from here? And let's try not to do it again.
Right. That's usually what we try to do for every show that we do.
Yeah.
But we fail on that miserably as well.
No,
so
I think it's interesting that you want to talk about the wide eclectic resume that you were talking about a second ago. You're dependent on, especially the Division I, you're dependent upon the recruiting class, the recruiters, the student athletes. You're dependent upon the politics of the athletic directors.
There's politics in athletics?
Imagine that. Look, I full disclosure, I'm a Duke fan.
Oh, jeez.
I know.
Golly.
I know. But and just trying to dive into
Leon. I mean, what's up with that, man? I mean, I'm doing you a solid. I come down here and I'm getting interviewed by a Duke guy.
I can't help it. It doesn't help. He's a Kentucky Wildcat fan.
That's okay. I could deal with a Kentucky fan better than I could Duke fan. What about you, Brian?
I don't really have a college team, so I don't have a dog in that fight.
Who's your pro team?
I'm a local guy, so if I'm going to go basketball, it's Hornets all the way.
All right.
They're back in town now? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, the new Hornets, the Bobcats, whatever you call them.
The Bob Hornets.
Hornets will work.
But I think you have all that stuff that's circling around. And I guess one thing it can help diversify is building a team behind you. Things you can see that if you have sole discretion on how to build your own team versus having these all these other people try to cobble puzzle pieces together. I'm sure that's probably been a great learning experience, a PhD, and not failure, but a PhD, and just cutting the crap out, cutting the politics out of it, cutting so many different levels of people who put things together.
The thing is, you can't cut the politics out. That's the thing that you have to navigate on a college campus or in some big corporate jobs. You have to be able to navigate that, and that's a gift. And there's an acquired taste to that.
Sure.
When I lost my job at North Carolina, I took some leadership. I went on my leadership journey, and it was out of your pain comes your passion, and my passion has become leadership. And I have a leadership practice now, and I work with some CEOs and some VPs that are on the fast track. And I was that VP that was on a fast track, and all of a sudden, 2 years later, I'm the head coach at North Carolina with only 1 year experience as the head coach at Notre Dame. So, and there's two different environments.
Right.
I jokingly say that I met this guy named Stevit, and Stevit is spelled Stevit, and S stands for these are the 6 knows. You got to know yourself. That's the S in Stevit. You got to know your team. You got to know your environment. That's the political landscape we talked about. You got to know your vision. What's your vision? Where do you want to go? And you got to be able to sell that. You got to know your industry. You better be on the cutting edge because if you want people to follow you, you've got to be competent. And then most important, I think, is you got a mind for the truth. People don't like to tell the leader the truth. So I think you, as the leader, need to find some truth tellers on your team, be able to say, Brandon, you have the right that if you think something's going on that I need to know about, you can come in my office anytime you want, close the door, and tell me the truth.
Right.
And I've got to welcome that. I've got to encourage that. I've got to beg for that, because if I don't know the truth, I'm going to find out the truth sooner or later. It might be tomorrow if you tell me, or it might be a year from now when I get fired. So I'd rather know tomorrow and deal with it and be able to tackle it. And then when you do bring it to me, I've got to praise you for that. I got to thank you for that. And so that's got to be done in a respectful manner, professional manner. But I want to know that up front. And I think sometimes leaders are it's easy to discount your staff and bully them in a way that's, if you came up to me in the hallway and say, hey, I got to talk to you, coach. I got, we got something to talk about. I'm like, and I'm looking at my phone saying, yeah. Later. I got to plan practice, or, I've got to, later. And then you come to me later and I'm like, yo, man, come on. Like, I just got done with practice. I mean, I want to, come on, let me relax a little bit. And finally you're like, well, screw this. You don't want to hear it. And so, Roy Williams would say one time, earmark 25% of your salary towards problems, and then you can manage it better. You could see it better. You can put it in a box and say, okay, I get paid, let's say whatever it is. Let's say someone's making $1 million a year as a coach. $250,000 for that box of crap. I'll deal with that. Colin Powell will say, if the soldiers aren't coming to you with their problems, you're not leading. So you've got a mind for that, welcome it, and look at that, as an opportunity to grow your team.
I think also recognizing that truth is recognizing the talent that you have, because, especially in the private sector and the workforce, is recognizing the team that you've assembled, their special traits. Anytime I've had a business, it's you hire certain people to fulfill a void. And,
yes.
A lot of times if you don't recognize that truth that coming from that talent, then you can't grow. There's always smarter ways to do things. And sometimes if you have that man, a soldier on the field, and that field of battle, or a player, and there's a smarter route, a smarter play, a smarter way to do something, a smarter way to skin that cat, that's recognizing the truth and that talent that you have. And I think a lot of times people miss that. People can be so conceited in their business and leadership values that even though they may be missing an opportunity to increase their business by 5, 10, 15% just by listening to their talent and they're hearing that truth.
Well, a lot of leaders are insecure. And I think sometimes that's what drives them to become leaders, their insecurity. So they overcome that by compensation. And then when they get there, they're still insecure. So every idea has to be their idea.
Right.
All the good ideas have to be their idea.
Right.
And that stunts the growth of your team. And then you surround yourself with yes men. And so that's not healthy, because I think what you said is, I, as a coach, like to bring diversity to my staff. And I would say, I want to hash it out in the conference room. I want to hear. I want to promote. I want to encourage fresh ideas. That's stimulating to me. One, I might see it from an opponent, so I want to know about it. 2, it might be a good fit for our team. 3, it might be a good fit for our team, but I'm not ready to digest it yet. So as the head coach, I get to say no, but I want your input. And we, once we walk out there off the office, we better all be aligned and on the same page. And have each other's back. Because what you don't want is to go into the locker room and practice and one of the players say, to one of the assistants, hey, Brandon, Coach B, we should be down in the side pick and roll. And you say, yeah, I brought that up in a staff meeting today, but coach isn't comfortable with it. Well, that's not good, man. Mm-hmm. You got to say, hey, listen, let's get it right. Let's do this right. And maybe we'll expand. But if we don't get it right here, screw any other kind, because this is fundamentally sound.
Right.
So that's where the loyalty comes into play. But you're 100% right. I love to get different ideas because it makes me think, and it's stimulating to me.
Absolutely.
How has coaching changed from when you were coaching to now? You mentioned politics. It seems like there's a lot more politics, at least from my perspective, in NCAA, the NCAA basketball, football, whatever you want to call it. But I look at the Netflix show Last Chance U. Have you watched that?
I haven't.
That show? It's just a college coach is just berating his players. If that scenario got out in the regular media from coaching, they would have a field day, and they actually have a field day with Coach Brown now, where he's just ripping his players down and down and down. Is that is that even an option in today's society with hurting players, tearing them down, and not bringing them back up?
Well, you won't last for long. Do coaches berate players? I'm sure they do. Because there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes, right, even though it could come surface in social media. So there is some of that goes on. And I think less and less of it, because I think, the players have a voice more than ever before. I think the parental involvement. And I think that coaches hopefully are getting smarter and wiser to realize, that's not really an effective way to coach.
Yeah.
And I was one that was perceived to be hard on players. And, I say to coaches now at clinics, it's not necessary. Like Tony Dungy was a pretty successful coach.
Yeah.
And, here's a Christian man who doesn't curse.
Yeah. Dean
Smith was a pretty good coach,
sure,
tongue in cheek. I've never heard Dean Smith curse in my life.
Wow.
So, and his way of berating a player would be, he'd say something like, Matthew, I bet you haven't thrown a pass like that since St. Raphael's, which was my grammar school. And that was more cutting than him cursing at you, be intelligent enough to find different ways to do it and have a little bit more control over your emotions.
Motivation is key, and trying to find how you can motivate each one of those players is got to be a challenge when you coach, because everybody's going to be different. And you've got, 12 different players or 24 or 100 players, and trying to figure out how to motivate each one of those. Got to be a tough call.
Well, the thing about motivation, I feel that's a little overrated. Like, you should evaluate whether a player's motivated or not before you recruit them to your campus. If you've got to motivate a player, that's a problem. Now, do you try to fire them up in a timeout or at halftime? Yeah. But to have to motivate a player to do what a player needs to do to be successful in terms of the daily grind, we've all done it. We've all gotten what I call being intoxicated with talent. You get intoxicated with a guy that can put his head on the rim, but he don't want to get up to go to class, or he doesn't want to run, the 2-mile run or get on the baseline and run sprints. At the end of the day, character is going to get you beat.
Yeah.
And so you would rather take someone a little less talented that is going to show up every day and grind than that guy that can put his head on the rim and you don't know what you're going to get day to day. So I discount the motivation thing. Coach Smith was never like giving us rah-rah speeches because he wanted us to play at a consistent level each and every game.
Gotcha.
If anything, he would do something to take the edge off. That's my take on that.
Okay.
So didn't mean to shoot you down there.
No, that's great. No, I appreciate it. I want to see.
A Kentucky fan, I figured that something like that came out. But,
and that is one of the questions with Duke and Kentucky, the one and done atmosphere, the mentality, and you say you don't want the one and dones, you'd rather have the guy that's the 4-year player.
Whoa. Don't put words in my mouth,
okay,
JT.
I thought you were saying.
No, don't
back it up. Back it up.
Whoa.
Did I not hear you'd rather have somebody less talented
with better character?
With better character.
Yeah. Does Zion Williamson have character?
Oh, absolutely not.
I'll take Zion. Sign me up. That's my point.
Well.
Yeah. So if you got talent and character, take them all day long. I said, less talent with high character.
Okay.
I take that over somebody who doesn't have character.
Okay.
You got to watch out for these guys.
Twisted words. Speaking of one and done.
Can I lower his mic at all?
Yeah, we can. I'll just be done. I was going to the table.
Yeah. Speaking of one and done, what's your opinion on
I don't like it. I don't think it's good for the game. I'd rather them go pro right out of high school.
Mm-hmm.
Go pro. And everyone's complaining they should get paid. Well, go pro. If you're that good, go pro. Get paid. And if you're not good enough playing the NBA, go play in the G League for 25 or 75 or whatever they're paying you now, or go to Europe. Oh, I want to go to college. Oh, you want to go to college? Okay. If you do the math, and I put a rough estimate that Zion Williamson earned about $1 million last year. Now, did he receive that in cash? No. But he got that in gift in kind, if you will, through the Q rating. Every dunk of his was on ESPN.
Mm-hmm.
Every time he did anything was on ESPN. The training he got, the academics, whether he took advantage of it or not. And by the way, we now know the value of admission into a school that you may not be qualified to get into. And I'm not saying I don't know his grades, but let's make it a safe assumption that if he was a non-athlete, would he have gotten into Duke? I don't know. I don't know his grades, but chances are probably not, because Duke's one of the top academic institutions in the country. So let's assume he can't get in there. So what is the value of entrance into a school like Duke? We now know what the market is. It's at least $250,000 a person, because you look at what the actresses did in California in paying to get their kids into Southern Cal.
Sure.
It was $250 a pop. Okay. So, you get that on top of the Q rating, the exposure,
the branding,
the meals, the coaching, the tutors, the travel, boom. We're talking $500,000 to $1 million in that year. Well, so I don't think they should get paid.
Yeah. Well, good.
All right. Well, there goes that question.
I'm right there with you on that. But
what I do think the NCAA should do, every player is entitled to qualify for a Pell Grant, which means if your parents are below a certain income level, that you can get a grant, which I think is about $6,000 a year. I might be off on that. I think what the NCAA should do is match it or double it. So if you, JT, qualify for a full grant, full Pell Grant, $6,000, then the NCAA throws 12 on top of that. That's $18,000.
Yeah.
Cash.
That helps.
That you don't have to pay back.
That helps.
That buys a few plane tickets, a few meals, maybe a used car. That could take care of some things.
Yeah.
And then you're not worried about having to pay everybody. Because that would be very difficult.
It'd be very difficult. Number one. Number two, how would you assess the players? We're going to base them off free market value. We're going to value them off the schools they go to. Does someone that plays at a top tier school like UNC or gets paid the same amount as someone at Woodruff or Woodford or whatever?
That's a bourbon, but close enough.
I can't remember. It's near my hometown.
Where are you from?
Anderson, South Carolina.
Gotcha.
Originally. Yeah. So, but
Wofford. You're thinking Wofford.
Wofford. There you go.
Yeah.
But that would be very complicated to be able to figure that out, because you couldn't pay a flat fee.
Sure.
Because some of these schools bring in, just like football, college football. I mean, these guys bring in some big bucks. Bama, Clemson.
Here's the thing I say though: did Zion increase attendance at Cameron Indoor Stadium?
You can't.
Right. That's my point. So what value? He brought value, yes.
But he also brought value down, too, to Nike stock, because I remember the infamous Nike blowouts.
But would Nike have flown a private jet with 4 executives the next day to go meet with him if he was playing at
Anderson University.
I was going to say Anderson University, since that's where you're from.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Don't hold that against me, by the way. Yeah. But so it's amazing though that the captivation that these players have now versus with social media and things like that versus 20 years ago, 30 years ago. It's just amazing that these guys, the branding that they have. I mean, when LeBron and Kobe first went into the NBA without going to college, it was, you went from obscurity to like maybe hearing some highlights with these guys on ESPN and Sports Center in the mornings to all of a sudden they're in the NBA.
Right.
And now we get this whole build up. Some of these guys have these huge social media followings in high school, and then translates into college for that 1 year. Mm-hmm. So it's just crazy how these guys become superstars.
It's a lot of pressure on these kids that's really difficult, I think, to manage. For Zion to be as grounded as he seems to be is pretty darn impressive in light of what he's gone through, during his time in high school and at Duke.
Yeah.
I have one question because we'll never experience it. What is it like to play in the national championship game?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I played in two of them.
Was it two?
Yeah, I played in 1981. You would think a Kentucky guy would do better research, Brian, don't you think?
Probably not.
I mean,
that's not on the sheet over here. It doesn't say anything about.
I didn't see it.
I mean, gosh,
son of a gun.
Ah, gosh.
It's from Kentucky.
Where are you from in Kentucky?
I went to school in Campbellsville University.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. My son goes to Bellarmine University in Louisville.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyway, there's always somebody I got to pick on, and you, JT, just
clearly don't expect a lot from your son then if he's going to school in Kentucky.
Well, he's going.
like I did. So.
Louisville's really not Kentucky.
You're right about that. You're right about that.
As a kid, you dream about it. At least I did, and I remember my first Final Four that I remember watching on TV was in 8th grade, and maybe early 75. I think Kentucky played with Kevin Greavy, who's a friend, played UCLA, and 75. I remember watching that, and then 76, Indiana went undefeated. I think that was in the Spectrum. I think UCLA might have been in at Michigan and maybe Rutgers. So, then 77, North Carolina lost in the finals to Marquette, and Michael Corn was there. So it was just something that I was watching and I dreamed about, and, watch it. And then the next day you're in the park working on your game and, saying, oh, Corn for 2, or, game winner, and you count down the clock and you hit the game winner. And if you miss it, you say you went to overtime and you do it all over again. And then to be in that situation was really magical. And I remember in the Final Four in Philadelphia coming out, the pom-poms and the different groups and just even the memories now, because the ACC network's playing these games again. And to see these, my brother had a friend taking pictures and showed pictures of my mother and my brother and my sister in the stands and, the pom-poms and just the memories and the energy. It was very fulfilling because you're doing what you wanted to do, and you really knew how fortunate you were to be in that situation with great guys and great coaches, and everybody's watching, and it was a thrill of a lifetime.
Awesome.
So now you're into CBD.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
The alternative to the devil's lettuce. My wife takes it too.
Wow, Brandon.
My wife has been on it now for about a year now.
Yeah,
she has some chronic back issues, and
so it obviously helps
a lot.
Yeah,
can't sleep, and this has helped out with that and anxiety and stuff like that. So
yeah.
How do you transition from what you're doing?
I've always been a little bit of an entrepreneur. I've dabbled in real estate. I worked on Wall Street for a while as a business major in college, and I just like selling. I like cutting edge products. And in almost a year ago, my wife and I were in Asheville, and her brother has issues with pain. And so we were looking for some alternatives, and we started to research CBD. And then a friend of mine was in the space. Another friend was in the space. And the more I talked to people that I knew and trusted, I've realized that this product's real. And so when I left the A10 in March, I hooked up with a buddy of mine who started this company, and he'd been successful in sports marketing endeavor. His name's Tim Hoferth. And so I joined his company. I tried the product first and foremost, and I was struggling to finish 18 holes of golf. I couldn't play back-to-back days. Had a little tendonitis in my right knee. Couldn't squat down and look at a putt. 4 months later, I'm playing 54 holes of golf in 2 days.
Wow. Holy cow.
And the only pain I had was when I sliced that bad boy into the woods.
Yep.
Everything else felt pretty good. I was shocked. 54 holes of golf in 2 days.
Yeah.
I hadn't done that. In 20-something years. So it made me a believer. My wife takes it. You hear all these stories, and, a lot of it's anecdotal, but a friend of mine who I just talked to has Parkinson's. It's helped him. It's helped my brother-in-law with his pain. There's everywhere you turn, there are these success stories. And I think as we get more and more scientific evidence supporting these anecdotal stories, it'll even take this to another level. It's all about education right now, Brandon, because people
absolutely.
don't know.
Yeah.
Is THC in it good? Is it bad? Can I get a DUI? Will I pass a drug test? All those types of questions. Our product's grown in North Carolina, South Carolina, Virginia, processed in South Carolina, and is State of Mind Naturals. And we're just trying to we're selling it to retail and trying to gain more and more traction each and every day.
So we've done previous episode on CBD, and I think you actually started doing CBD.
Yeah, I take CBD for my plantar fasciitis, and that seems to help a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
that's painful, man.
God bless.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I can imagine. So there's number one, getting past the stigma of CBD, because we've talked about that. I mean, I grew up in a very staunch, closed-minded religious home. So
I could tell by all the tattoos.
Yeah. Obviously,
you broke loose pretty good.
Yeah,
huh? Yeah.
Actually, I didn't break loose. They told me not to come back, but So there's a stigma with it because
no question.
People cannot differentiate between what cannabis is and
what is hemp and marijuana.
Exactly.
I mean, I couldn't either, and that was a month ago.
Yeah.
A year ago.
Yeah. So it's crazy how, number one, we're breaking the stigma, and I also think the stigma of cannabis will be probably much obliterated in the next few years too, as this kind of sweeps across the states. But CBD, the THC component, I think that we really play too much focus onto that. People, have the horror stories of the 60s and 70s drug rushes to the misinformation that was perpetuated by the government in the 30s with the reefer madness.
No, it's you're on it.
So all kinds of things. It's just, I think, but CBD. So anyone listening, you're more welcome to go back and listen to our other episode about CBD also. But I guess for this one right here, I'm holding one of your products right here. It's a 5-day full spectrum. So the full spectrum actually has all the components of the plant into it. So that's the reason why it has a little bit of THC.
Correct. Legal limit is 0.3% or lower, and it doesn't get you high.
Right. So there's what fun is that, right? But no, but the point,
staunch church supporters.
You may not want to come to my church.
You fell off the lettuce pad, lettuce truck.
That was lettuce truck.
That's right. But so. I see on the back here, it has full spectrum hemp, so that has all the components of it to where you get the most benefit. I guess a lot of people see that.
We call it the entourage effect.
Exactly.
Yes.
Do you guys have other products that may not be the full spectrum?
No, we just do full spectrum.
Full spectrum. Okay.
Yes, that's what we believe in. We think that it, activates your endocannabinoid system.
Yeah, which we are blessed with. As part of our natural.
Gesundheit.
Yeah, thank you very much. Can I have a napkin? The thing, I've learned more about American history through this hemp business than I did in high school.
Yeah.
Because this goes back to the settlers. George Washington grew hemp. The Declaration of Independence was written on hemp paper. Rope, sails. 3000 BC, Chinese were using this for medicinal value. And then you touched on in 20s and 30s, it got a bad rap because DuPont and Company realized they could make paper out of their tree pulp.
Yeah.
So that was competition.
Yeah.
So let's get back then I think they had lobbyists too.
Well, they had also Randolph Hearst, who also owned all the newspapers pretty much in the area. I guess when he started doing all the negative publicity because of the paper and the pulp and things like that. So, yeah.
Yeah. And then Nixon, when he was the president, war on drugs, you couldn't clearly differentiate, as we touched on earlier, between hemp and marijuana.
Right.
So they lumped hemp in with marijuana. And I think when this Israeli scientist discovered the endocannabinoid system, that people realized, these ingredients, these terpenes, and these CBD ingredients are in our system already. And sometimes we're a little deficient. So we need to supplement that. You can't OD on this.
Right.
People say, can I do? No, if you took a cup of water and filled it up with too much water, what would happen? The water would just spill out. That's kind of what happens if you take too much CBD. So
it'd be an expensive way to OD.
yeah, it wouldn't happen. Yeah, no, it wouldn't happen. Ironically, and one thing we try to do is be very compliant. We don't put CBD on our packaging because in November, that's not going to be allowed because the FDA doesn't want confusion in the marketplace because there is a marijuana CBD and a hemp CBD. So they don't want people going in saying, I want CBD, and they actually accidentally get the marijuana CBD. So, and then we don't make edibles because that's not been approved, even though gummies are out there and chocolates are out there. We don't make that because that's getting yanked off the shelves in certain parts of the country. So we just stick with the oils. We have some salves coming out, some lotions, lip balms. So yeah, it's an exciting space, and it really helps people. It can really help the health in our country, make people feel good, want to exercise more, and put smiles on our faces.
Yeah, I think the things we hear about now, the opioid crisis,
yes,
the chronic pain crisis we hear about all day long. I mean, how many news stories you hear about the opioid epidemic?
Yes,
things that, it's a true epidemic. It's perpetuated, man-made, but there are chronic illnesses out there, chronic pain that people need some type of relief from. Instead of just popping, 8 ibuprofen a day and ruining your stomach lining, you can. There's alternatives out there that can actually help.
Well, I'm trying to be a spokesperson along with some other people in the world of sports because when I was playing, we used to take Indocin, anti-inflammatory, and then Alonzo Mourning had a kidney replaced. He was taking Vioxx. And as an athlete, if a trainer says, hey, take 2 of these 3 times a day, I was talking to Mitch Kupchak about this the other day. We were at the Carolina, South Carolina. I want to clarify that. Carolina is the University of North Carolina when we talk about Carolina, not the University of South Carolina.
Well, I don't even think they even have a sports team anymore.
Okay. So Mitch and I were talking, like, what do you do as a player if you're dedicated and you want to get back on the court and you want to feel good? And the trainer says, take 2 of these 3 times a day. You take 4 of them 4 times a day.
Right.
And then all of a sudden your kidney's going to,
crap out.
Yeah. And so this, I think, CBD hemp oil will be in every trainer's bag in the near future.
Well, I know the MMA and a lot of the fighting sports have embraced CBD now. I know a lot of big podcasters, MMA podcasters from Rogan to Militich. These guys are promoting CBD now due to their fitness and well-being and health. And you've seen some big MMA stars come out on Instagram and just talking about their chronic pains because obviously in a sport like that, too,
that's wicked.
You're going to have some pain, and these guys are coming out as proponents, saying, hey, this is what we need to move forward.
And it's natural.
Yeah.
Yep. So
how do you take your CBD?
Ours is sublingual, which I didn't know what really sublingual was till like March.
That's when you speak English and Spanish, right?
Yeah. You kind of.
I thought they were speaking in tongues in a church, like my church.
Yeah. It's take it under the tongue. You take it under the tongue, and that's where you have the most direct access to your bloodstream. Vaping is a way that gets into your bloodstream quick. Smoking it, we don't deal with the vapes or the flowers. We just deal with the tinctures. We will come out with some creams and lotions and lip balms, but we think that the tinctures and the full spectrum are the most effective way to go.
Are they water soluble or oil based?
They're oil.
Okay.
Yeah. There's coconut oil that is the bonding agent Gotcha. So you do have to shake it up. But the biggest key is you have to know where it's grown, know where it's processed, and third-party tested, because over 70% of the products are not good because they just people trying to make a quick buck. And it takes money to third-party test it. So we go through that.
Good.
And because at the end of we want to be around for the long haul, and we want to have a premium product on the market.
It scares me how quickly those CBD oil shops are just popping up. You see them pop up and then close.
Yep.
Trying to make that quick buck and not knowing what you're taking. But if you got that third party, that's key.
It's huge. Got to have it. Yeah. Otherwise, I wouldn't buy it.
But I think it separates because, I was in the vitamin world for a while because I owned a health food store, and that's the thing you always look for was third-party verification because you have these people that would pop up out of their garage. Hey, take this, new vitamin C, and then pretty much it'd be like wallpaper dust and pulp, and then all of a sudden people get sick and they get shut down. But it gives a negative connotation to the whole industry.
Right.
So you had to fight through that too.
You have to fight through it. You want to what we want to be a part of is professionalizing the profession. And I think that with our CEO Tim Hoferth, who's had success in other ventures, brings a professionalism to the marketplace, along with many other people. We're not the only ones. There's a lot of good people out there, but hopefully we welcome regulation. We want the FDA. We want the government to regulate because we think that will help people like us that are trying to do it right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, where can people find your product?
Right now, you can find it locally. It's in Gastonia. It's at Leatherman's Golf driving range over near the airport. Gastonia at the Medical Center Pharmacy, but online, stateofmindnaturals.com.
Okay.
That's the easiest place to get it. There is some glitches online ordering because one of the tough things in this space is merchant banking. Because banks are a little leery of working in the hemp space because they are afraid that somebody might slip in the marijuana product and then they're laundering, money for drugs across state lines.
Oh, man.
So that's why they're a little leery.
Okay.
So we have some good banking relationships, but every once in a while it'll get shut down and you might have to mail a check as opposed to go through online. But for the most part, that's the best way to do it.
Stateofmind.com.
Stateofmindnaturals.com. Yep.
Okay. We'll have that link on our show notes, so we'll put that out there.
And you guys on the social medias anywhere? Also?
Not so much right now. Not so much right now. We're going to ramp up our marketing soon, and you got to be careful with some of the social media marketing because some people might shut you down. And there's a lot. There's a lot to be learned. I hear this often. It's a little bit of the wild, wild west.
Yeah.
So we try to be as conservative as possible, but yet still make progress.
Sure.
Yeah. You had the gold rush. And they call this the green rush now. And it's like it says, the wild, wild west. It's so far on the nose of the dog that the government doesn't really know what to do yet. And the banking industry doesn't know what to do. So
and you have the big pharma that wants everybody to tap their brakes so they can get a handle on it. They're afraid that all of us have gotten such a head start. Yeah. Now they have the money and they have the funding and they can come in and buy us all up, but they don't have control of this, which makes them nervous.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
The banks don't get power and they don't get control and they freak out, right?
Yeah. No. Hey, but it's all about education.
Sure. Well, Matthew Doherty, thank you so much for joining us here
my
on the
pleasure.
Fried Philosophy Podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. And Brian, don't talk so much next time. Okay? Thank you, guys.
Yeah, man.
All right, so that wraps up this episode of the Southern Fried Philosophy Podcast.
Yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in as always. Please go to our website at southernfriedphilosophy.com, Facebook at Southern Fried Philosophy. You can also check us out on the Instagrams and Twitter at SFP Radio. Wherever you listen to your podcast, just go there, give us a subscribe, a like, a review. Make sure you rate us, 5-star preferably. Drop a review that says hello, whatever. Don't matter. Just put it on there. Also, once again, in honor of my donor and my donor's mother, just go to your local Life Share organization. Make sure you're a donor. Most states, I'm pretty sure you can just sign up as a donor there and be a turd your whole life, but you can also save a life if you decide to pass those pearly gates. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Keep tuning in.
And as always, keep looking up.